for stopping by. Mary makes the call. Happy Halloween. I'm Mary, and I'm here every week during the college football season. We're talking about what happened last week, what games you should be watching that are coming up, and everything that happened in between. But before we get started, say hello to the mad scientist behind this channel, my sister Laurie.
Hello everyone, happy Halloween! And yes, it is Halloween again. We're shooting on Halloween, even though you're going to see this the day after, but you know, you can never have too much Halloween.
We celebrate Halloween until Thanksgiving, so Labor Day to Thanksgiving. I love Halloween. So let's talk about what happened last week. A lot of things happened last week. Had a lot of games. Oregon continues its undefeated season when it beat Illinois 38-9. Penn State rolled on, defeating Wisconsin at 28-13. Ohio State, now I mentioned this game last week to keep an eye on. Ohio State did end up beating Nebraska 21-17. That's not a big win. That's not a huge score for them, score difference. So it's going to affect them in the rankings in the coming weeks. Texas, also not a big win for them, but they did defeat Vanderbilt 27-24. They only won by 3, Dar.
Wow, that was a field goal, huh?
Yep. Notre Dame stopped Navy's undefeated season when they beat them 51-14.
Ouch.
Yeah. And Texas A&M defeated LSU 38-23. Indiana kept rolling on with their undefeated season when they beat Washington 31-17.
Wow.
And the other game I said I'd keep an eye on, Alabama and Missouri. Alabama ended up beating Missouri 34-0.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, you never know sometimes. You have good weeks and bad weeks, I guess. So, and that was not a good week for Missouri. So let's check out the rankings of where everybody stands for the first 10 teams here. Not much has changed from last week from 1 to 7. We still have the same teams in the same slots, which is number 1, Oregon, number 2, Georgia, Penn State, Ohio State, Miami, Texas at number 6, and at number 7 we have Tennessee. Now, the last 3 teams, we have Notre Dame making the top 10 now at number 8, and then we have BYU, and then we have Texas A&M. So, as you can see, there's some things in play here, and as you win and lose and how much you win and lose by affects where you fall in the rankings.
So, Mary, who decides these rankings? And is it just, like, who does it?
Well, right now, that's just a poll, an
Okay.
AP poll that does it. College football has a selection committee now, and they start putting out, it's a committee made of 13 people, and they start putting out the rankings of every team starting Tuesday, November 5th. So that is going to determine where these teams, who makes the playoffs, and where they fall in the playoffs, who they're going to play.
Who decides these rankings?
They are made up of athletic directors of the power conferences. They're made up of a retired media person, and they are made up of coaches and assistant coaches.
Oh, that's a good mix of people to determine that.
Yeah. Yep.
Great.
So coming up, well, before I tell you what's coming up, please hit that like button for us and hit that subscribe button as well. We have a few more weeks to go, and we really appreciate you being here today and hope you stick it out with us for the rest of the season. It's only a few more weeks. We have a couple of games coming up on Saturday. One really good game that I'll be watching all the way through is a Big Ten conference contenders. Ohio State, who's ranked number 4 right now, goes into Happy Valley, taking on Penn State, who is ranked number 3. So that is the game to watch.
Who would you pick for that game?
I'm going to root for Penn State, but Ohio State, you can never rule them out. They have a way to always pull a rabbit out of the hat with some trickery.
I love trickery.
Yes,
Especially
and
Halloween.
yeah. So it should be a really good game. on paper, it should be a very competitive game, and hopefully it will live up to the hype. Another game to watch or know about, I don't know if you want to watch it, is Florida at Georgia. Florida, it's typically a big rivalry. So, but Florida's not having a very good season this year, and Georgia is ranked number 2. So, I'll turn it on and see how it goes, and I'll keep flipping it out and see what happens there.
Hey, anything can happen.
Anything can happen any given Saturday, actually, but it's any given Sunday. But then we have Indiana, still undefeated. Go Indiana. They roll into Michigan State, who is 4-4. Again, I'm not going to rule out Michigan State. They have a way to win when they're not expected to win. So
they're full of surprises.
They are full of surprises.
Unpredictable.
Yeah, so.
One never knows.
And another game that's going to be good to watch is number 18 Pittsburgh, who is undefeated, goes to SMU, and they're ranked number 20, and they're 7-1. So again, another game that looks like it's going to be highly competitive on paper. Let's hope it turns out that way.
Query. What is SMU?
SMU stands for Southern Methodist University.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So that brings us up to our off-the-field spotlight. Laura, you want to talk about our off-the-field spotlight?
I would love to, Mayor, and we've got a great one this week. His name is Blake Corum, and he was a running back from Michigan last year, and he has since been drafted with the Rams. But last year, in the course of 3 weeks, this young man bought 600 turkeys, distributed them to his local community, to people in need. He donated a pair of his custom cleats to the Children's Hospital so that they could use it in their charity drive. And he and his teammates organized a toy drive which brought in 10,000 fans and over 10,000 toys to give to needy children in his community. And because of his charitable works, he was named the captain of the All-State AFCA Good Works team. So hats off to Blake. I know he'll continue to do great things in the NFL. And I have a question for everyone watching. What'd you do last year for 3 weeks? Mayor?
All right, that brings us to our trivia question. Last week we asked, who was the first team to have a perfect season? The first team to go undefeated all season. Who was that?
Who was that, Mayor?
It was the Tennessee Volunteers in 1939.
Wow.
Who knew?
Who knew?
Well, now you do.
They were what was their
10-0.
10-0? Oh,
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
So, you want to talk about our, you have a trivia question for us this week, Laura?
I do, but first I have something to tell you.
What?
Well, did you hear about the team that adopted a little ghost to their team?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Well, they did it because they needed a little team spirit.
Wow.
Now.
Okay.
On to this week's trivia. What was the longest college football game played since the NCAA adopted an overtime in 1996? Now, I'll give you a hint. The game that I'm talking about was not in 1996, but since 1996. What was the longest football game played, college football game played? You need to tell me who it was between, and when it was, and how long did it last?
That is a hard question.
It's a 3-parter.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
We're getting near the end of the season.
So
The test questions get harder.
I guess our questions are getting harder. So, and that's a hard one. I wouldn't give you a hard question, audience. So,
You're welcome.
anyways, that's going to do it for this week. If you know someone who's making a positive impact off the field or showing some act of kindness, please let us know. Put their name and their school in the comments below, and we would love to give them a shout out here on Mary Makes the Call. And again, hit that like button. Here's your reminder. Please hit that like button and that subscribe button. We only have a few more weeks to go. We'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for watching Mary Makes the Call. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Be safe out there. Go vote. Have a great weekend.